right, it's Monday morning, the 7th of March, and I'm heading south 170 miles to Jackson, Wyoming from where I live here in Ennis, Montana, to pick up a bunch of bronzes at the gallery, at Mountain Trails Gallery, to take up to my show in Great Falls next week and into LA the following month. So it's going to be a little short trip. I'm not going to video the whole trip, just highlights, and hope you enjoy the trip. About 50 miles south of where I live, and I'm just getting ready to cross over into Idaho. This is the southwest border of Montana, and there's the Idaho welcoming sign right there. We're in Idaho. You can't see it because it's all white, because it's all frozen over, but that's Flathead Lake up ahead. And if it wasn't for the clouds, you'd probably be able to see the Grand Tetons, where we're going to be heading. Oh, I can see them, but barely. That's the first view of the Grand Tetons. We're going to be going over to the other side of those mountains. That's probably about 50 miles, 75 miles right now to Jackson Hole from here. So I'm figuring it's probably about 50 miles to those mountains. Mountain men back in the early part of the 1800s used those mountains, the mountain peaks, as kind of like a guidepost of where they were. If they could see those peaks, they knew just exactly where they were in relation to the whole area. So I don't know what the French exact term of Grand Tetons is, but it has something to do with a woman's breasts. All right, going to be turning up here in Ashton, Idaho, a couple of minutes, and heading due east, and then up and over those mountains. Now we're just about to the summit of the Tetons and crossing over into Jackson's Hole. Have a lot of cross-country skiers up here too. So here's the summit. Now it's downhill. This could have been a lot worse, let me tell you. Beautiful. Alright, I'm going to put the camera down, and that's Jackson Hole down there. We're now in Wyoming. Alright, that's the other side of the Tetons. Alright, I'm leaving Jackson Hole. I just didn't have time to video at the gallery because I was just so busy. I was helping an artist friend settle something at another gallery, and then loading up the 5 bronzes that I'm taking up to Great Falls next week for the show, and then those same bronzes are, if I don't sell them up there, are going to go down to LA to San Dimas next month at the end of it to be in a show down there. So I was a bit busy. I just didn't think about doing the video until now as I'm driving out of town. So it's starting to cloud up too. It's not looking good. So I'm glad we did this when we did. It was supposed to snow today, but as you saw earlier, it was nice and sunshiny. But now the clouds are starting to move in. And the Tetons, the tip of the Tetons, are starting to disappear. I'll show you here in a second as soon as I get past this little hill. And pardon the side window, but if you remember, you could see the peaks before. Now you can't see the peaks because they're pretty well covered with cloud cover right now. So, there they are. That's the Tetons there, right in the center. This range of mountains runs just literally north and south. If you've ever flown over them, it looks like a big wall between Idaho and Wyoming. All right, so that'll be it for today. Well, I'm just about to the Idaho border, Montana-Idaho border, and getting into some heavy winds and drifting snow. I don't know if it's actually snowing or not. I can't tell. It could be, but it's a complete whiteout. I'm glad I went down when I did because it could be worse later on this week. So, you know, winter's last gasps are always the worst ones. So it's go slow. I'm doing about 50 miles an hour, and just be mindful of how slippery it might be. All right, that's the video for today. Unless something else happens, like me running into a drift or something like that, or I become a drift. I don't know. Later, guys.